All right, it's the rundown. We're in March. That sweatshirt's awesome. I gotta get them.
All of it.
And we need hats too.
I'm making.
What does it say under the ball?
It says March. Make your free throws, attack the rim, run the floor, close out, hit your jumpers, and remember they're just kids.
Love it. That's great.
Dave,
be smart. I would like be smart. Play smart.
Yeah, play smart. We have make your free throws hats coming momentarily.
Good. Those are good. Good. This is brought to you by High Noon Tequila. The tequila just hit the streets. They are awesome. And I'm not a tequila guy, but they're awesome. So if you're a tequila person, they're awesome. Made with real tequila, real juice, which is not an easy thing to do. You got to get the tequila from Mexico. Clean finish because it's made with real Blanco tequila. 100 calories, same deal as the other. They got new flavors. Strawberry, lime, grapefruit, passion fruit. I'm going strawberry 1, passion fruit 2, lime 3, grapefruit 4. That's probably because I'm not a huge tequila guy. So I feel like you get more of the tequila in the last 2 than the front 2.
Austin, can you get me one?
They're fucking great.
I haven't tried it, so we'll do a live first sip review.
Yeah,
on the
they're
rundown.
great. They're great. So look,
I'm a big tequila guy.
They're rolling out they're great. Visit highnoonspirits.com to find near you. They're showing now pretty much everywhere. I'm getting people sending me this stuff, so we're good to go. And when you get that, you can taste it. Okay. Not necessarily in order of importance. I didn't rearrange it. I had to do BFS right before this. Jackson Mahomes. Jackson Mahomes cannot stay out of the news. So he has been accused of forcibly kissing the owner of a restaurant as well as pushing a waitress or a waiter. Now, that's always he said, she said, but there is video of the forcible kiss with a second forcible kiss that I don't think anybody can argue is a forcible kiss. Now, you may be able to argue they were flirting at some level, but it's a forcible kiss. The woman is married, I believe, who owns this place. She has to know his cameras. She clearly was pushing him off. I've seen some Jackson defenders be like, well, she kind of smiled, but there can be no doubt.
No.
It's a forcible kiss, and she was trying to prevent the kiss.
I just couldn't believe there was a second one, though. That was like
crazy.
I thought going into that video, you were going to see like she slaps him and pushes him and it was clearly uncomfortable. But the fact that he still hung around or she was still in that room with him or whatever, that it could happen a second time, he's fucking nuts. I mean, he's either hammered drunk and just out of his mind or an absolute creep or a combination of the both. But the fact that there was 2 was like, what the fuck?
What does Well, go ahead, Dan.
Well, I was going to say, you can't also be like, oh, she was smiling. Like, that wasn't a forcible kiss. You don't, like, if she
how
feels
would you
like,
react, right?
Yes, if she's in danger or whatever. And I was back on Jackson Mahomes until this. Like, I thought the fact that he made everyone pissed off all the time was funny to me. The TikTok after the Super Bowl was hilarious. This one's a tough look.
Gotta know a fly in the wall what Patrick says to him. Like, dude, what are you doing?
Well, you know what? I think up until now, it was relatively harmless and just like people really don't like me because I dance and I'm kind of weird. But it's like, whatever, my brother's not doing anything wrong. Maybe there was a story about like he was rude to a waiter or something like that.
There's been a couple floating around.
This is, you know what? I bet you. I don't want to say I'd be happy if I was Patrick Mahomes, but you finally got something that you can be like, fucking.
Yeah, he's definitely not happy. No, he can't be happy. I thought you were going to go a different route, and I'm looking at the next story. I think we could have, like, he's going into treatment situation.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. But whatever it may
kissing
be.
addiction?
Being able to
say. Alcoholics. A
kissing addict, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And now, to be honest, we actually, I think, like what Dan was saying, we almost were like, you know what? Kudos to Patrick because he kind of lets his brother just do his thing. Yeah. No one likes him. He doesn't tell him. Now it's like you reverse on that and you're like, Patrick has to be like, buddy, what are you doing? Like, like, I don't want to see you in the news. I don't want to see you fucking dancing. I don't want to see dick or you're cut off.
Yeah, because he now has a crime basically to point to. Because in the past, maybe even if he did say something, Jackson would be like, not doing anything wrong. This is very clearly wrong, and you're gonna fucking cut it out now.
Yeah.
Wait, I got the high noon. Ready?
Yeah. What flavor?
Lime.
So that would be one that I would think a tequila person would like.
Yeah, tequila and lime is
That's
like
really good.
They're
tequila
great.
and lime is
That is really good.
You know?
The high noon people, their magic is making the drinks. They're fucking awesome
You know
at
what's
it.
just so crazy about them too is like they just give the people you want juice and the liquor. Boom.
Basic. It's it's they are the best at doing it. It's not rocket science, but it is rocket science. I think they're taste people because I've tasted a lot of shit before. Theirs is great. Rollback, another huge sponsor. Best fit, best feel. Use the code RUN on rollback.com for 20% off your first purchase through the end of this week. That's
Joggers.
RHOBAC. Big month for joggers and sweats. It's March. It's stay comfortable, stay loose. I've said this. I know, Dan. It's a harder month for us than the athletes. Like it is. You know, you. Who is that guy from the Browns who got in all sorts of trouble? But he said war. The tight end Winslow.
Yeah.
We are going to war though.
Yeah.
And I know you're not supposed to say it because I know we're not with guns in the Middle East or Afghanistan shooting, but we're going to war.
It's mental warfare.
War. No
PTSD.
sleep. No sleep.
Maybe at the end of March, you guys should get like a Purple Heart of some sort. We'll give you guys an award.
If
We'll give you
someone
a
would
medal.
give it to
gambling
us,
version of a
gambling,
gambling
Purple Heart. Pick a different color, and you guys get a medal at like on like April 1st or April 7th.
I had like a moment this morning where I just took like a deep breath and I was like,
here we go.
Okay.
And
Let's go.
I'm starting to get a little, am I under the weather? I can't tell. I know I
noodle.
always am very sick, noodly. Yeah, I don't know why, but yes.
Dave,
What?
did you hear about our flight back from West Virginia?
No.
Insane turbulence. I puked. Mike's security guard puked too.
No way.
It was such bad turbulence. A person died in the turbulence. A different private plane.
What?
That night?
Yeah, that morning. Yeah.
From turbulence?
Yeah, I think they like hit their head and bled out on a private plane.
That's horrible, but
it was insane. But it was
the private jet life is.
Well, so does this make me like the toughest person in the world because I flew out right before you?
No, you didn't fly. No, it was in like the Eastern Corridor was where it was. So no, you didn't do anything. But
I actually was nervous because Jerry came in talking about all that.
Yeah,
and I flew alone, and it's always like you don't want to die alone.
Security guard Mike was like sitting at the front of the plane just screaming because they upgraded our plane because it was such bad turbulence. So we had a stewardess and he was just like, I need a bag. I'm gonna puke on myself.
Just because it was like up and down.
It was like this for like 30 minutes
Oh.
straight. It was just like it wasn't big drops. It was just literally like a roller coaster.
Was Jerry on it?
Jerry was gagging. Jerry was like, I wasn't scared. I got motion sickness. I puked in the Uber back. Ron and I going back to Brooklyn. I had to pull over on the highway and puke.
I didn't hear.
I've never had that happen. It was crazy.
We talked about this on the podcast the other day for some. I don't remember why it came up, but what level of turbulence or drop or whatever do you think is acceptable for you to like yell out loud on the plane, like freak out? Well,
it's not that you can't be a conscious yell, you know? It's like it happens and you yell.
But like if it's just like wobbling and someone's freaking, but like if it nosedives for a second, I'm probably gonna fucking.
I think it's just it when you see it. Like you can't.
I'm not a roller coaster guy. I thought I was getting that. It must have been the other way because I really had a pretty smooth flight home.
Yeah, no.
I had a bad landing, but a good flight home.
And they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna make everyone buckle their seatbelts. Like we're gonna hit a little turbulence on the way back, or like on the landing here." And they said that to us with like 35 minutes left in a 55-minute flight, so it was just all turbulence.
And you guys are talking about like the smaller jets, right? You're not on like.
Yeah.
You guys fly private a lot. I know people like. Do you get nervous about that? Because I know a lot.
No.
You think?
No.
I don't because I didn't hear that story. I think most of the horror stories, knock on wood, you hear with private are when people are flying their own planes, not with like certified pilots. Like we're
They're
going
really good pilots.
Yeah,
They're also, they're always doing something stupid where they're like, no, we're going through the hurricane.
No, these guys don't feel like all the tragedies you hear. Like you think of obviously the baseball player, the pitcher.
Oh,
Corey Lytle.
Yeah, Corey Lytle. Yeah.
No, not Corey.
No,
Lytle.
Roy Halladay.
Oh, Roy Halladay. Like he was flying his own. Obviously, Kobe. They shouldn't have been flying. I think it was bad weather. They didn't see the mountain. Like I will never push anybody to fly. It's like if you can't make it, don't make it.
But there was. I almost made Jerry cry because on the when we were leaving the green room, Spider was like, "Oh, the turbulence is really bad. They upgraded the plane." So I was like, "We got more seats. Anyone who wants to come, like come." And everyone had different plans, so they all said no. And I turned to Jerry. I was like, "This is when you die. When a bunch of people say no to come on a plane."
Yeah, because you're like the guy. Yeah,
when they write the story and they're like, "Yeah, Big Cat asked us all, and we didn't do it," and then they died.
Well, Dan, Caleb got sick.
Yeah.
So I had that going through. It's like, oh, Caleb was supposed to come, got sick, missed the flight. I'm on there alone. That's Caleb's going to talk about that the rest of his life. Correct.
Whoa.
But made it. Rollbacks right around the corner. Their performance hoodies, the most comfortable hoodies we own. Unbeatable stretch, buttery, soft material, make them perfect for a cool morning or a night out. Rollbacks performance polos, the best ones out there. They'll have you ready for spring. The design's amazing. The fit is perfect. And the comfort is next level. Restock the joggers, like I said. I checked. So we got a big week because, I'm doing the Disney Boys Wednesday.
Well, no.
Minus Frank.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, Kevin, can you believe that?
What?
They're going to Disney on Wednesday.
Right.
And I said to Dave, all the Disney boys going. And he's like, yeah, all the Disney boys are going. I was like, all the Disney boys? Dave thought I was like a Star Wars guy. And I was like trying to get myself in. I've never seen Star Wars. And we're just sitting there. He's like, yep, all the Star Wars fans, we're all going. And Frank's sitting in the green room. I'm just like, hey, Frank, do you like Star Wars? He goes, yes, I do.
It was perfect timing by him. So that's Jeff D. Lowe.
And he's in?
No, he's out.
Oh, okay.
But he's the biggest Star Wars guy.
Listen, I didn't put this.
Even if Frank is a big Star Wars fan, he has not let it be known enough. Everybody knows who the Star Wars nerds are.
Oh, I disagree. There's a picture of him wearing the Darth Vader in court. When he's the court clerk.
I've never talked to him. I talked to Robbie Fox was my initial, like every single day after Mandalorian, and Jeff D. Lowe then knew I was. So he's like, you got to watch Andor, you got to watch this. If I have questions, I talk to them. So those were my guys. I knew Clem then. So it was originally, I thought, me, Jeff D. Lowe, Clem, and Robbie Fox. And this all stemmed from when I went and I missed.
Yeah.
And Robbie was who I talked to because he was like, how was it? And there's that whole exchange. And I came clean when Robbie was like, well, how was this ride? I'm like, I didn't see that ride. So it all came forward. And then we're like, well, we'll just go together and do it because Robbie hadn't gone either. And then Jeff D. Lowe is attached to Ken Jack. So he invited Ken Jack. Jeff D. Lowe has set the whole thing up. I'm not quite sure if we're going. I don't know if we're going before the parks open. Anyways, long story short, we're going. The Disney boys are going. Minus Frank are going Wednesday. And then I'm flying to Massachusetts. Gambling launches Friday mobile. So we're going to be there Friday, Saturday. I'll be there Sunday announcing that.
You're just doing Disney for like a day? Like a night?
Day. Yes, day. We're flying out that night. I'm going to Massachusetts. And we're going to live stream.
All day Friday, all day Saturday. It's going to be it's going to be a cuckoo's. It's Whitney, you, Elio, me, Jerry, Big Ev, Hank, and Kirk said he'd stop by.
I was going to say, though, he's got a little Minahan in there.
All the craziest gamblers in one room.
God, that's like a powder keg. That might be World War III pops off from that room right there.
And then we have like a day off, and we're going to Columbus because the tournament starts. We'll be there. I think we're going to the game. Which I'm kind of excited to play the game.
Wisconsin could be in it. Michigan could be in it. We're Bubble Boys.
Yeah, Bubble Boys. I think they'll make a run in the tournament, and then we're going to stream all that week. So it's March. It's fucking March. So there's a lot going on. Rollback, we're still on that read. Comfortable clothes. So use the code 20% off. Rollback. Use the code RUN. It's March. Ja Morant. Ja Morant does an Instagram story holding a gun. Dumbest guy who's ever lived.
Man.
Dumbest guy who's ever. I don't even know when they're saying he needs help for being dumb. Like, even if he has all this stuff, why is he holding it on an Instagram live, a gun? What is
borderline like he's trying to fuck up his career? Like,
crazy.
He's going out of his way to fight fucking kids and security guards and guns.
And you keep hearing these stories of him, he brandished a gun, and they keep saying, no, he didn't. And then he's holding it. It's like,
holding a gun.
What are you doing? So he's got 2 games. They're saying it could be longer. There was an interesting, Skip Bayless, I thought, had a good rant today on with Shan Sharp. He's like, we keep saying he's trying to pretend to be this, and he's trying to pretend. What if he just is this?
Yeah.
He's like, he said, I haven't seen. He said he's done the Crip sign like twice. He's like, what if we keep saying he's pretending to be, but what if he is?
I think the thing is, I believe, ironically, he's not. He's like from a rich town, isn't he?
I saw some TikTok, but I mean,
so I think that might, like, if you're like from the street life, it's one thing. But if he grew up at like playing ball at a prep school in the suburbs and you're doing that, I think that's where people.
So you think he is
pretending to do it, but also it's like you said, you can be rich, you can be poor, you can be from this neighborhood, that neighborhood. You start fucking around, with guns. And life. You're just in that life.
You guys, my biggest takeaway. I mean, Ja Morant, like, obviously he's potentially pissing away hundreds of millions of dollars.
Crazy.
And he's so exciting of a player, and like I root for him. That was a bitch ass gun.
Yeah, it was a little tiny thing.
It was so small. I know that shouldn't be my first reaction, but when I saw it, I was like, dude, if you're gonna fucking get in trouble, like, what is that?
One thing I noticed is every article was like he's allegedly holding a gun. It's like
he's
literally holding a gun.
Like, could it be fake or something? I guess.
Go read every story. It's like he allegedly seen holding guns. So he's been suspended. He's apologized. He was holding a gun. I think we can say he's holding a gun. Great. In the NBA, well, I'll rearrange a little bit. Would I take him?
Would you break the bank for him now? Like, would you give him a max contract, knowing that
I honestly don't. I'd have to sit in a room with him and talk to him. Yeah. I wouldn't without doing that, because what he did in that Instagram,
so
with
stupid.
all it's so stupid. Period. But with all the rumors that are swirling around him every day to do it, that to me is somebody you absolutely can't trust. So I'd have to sit down and figure out what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, it's almost like I don't know. Maybe he is like dangerous, but even if he's not, it's just how stupid you are.
Correct.
It's especially insane that there's 4 incidents now, including this one, and actually 5, because I didn't know about this. He had a deleted tweet where he got in a fight with someone on Twitter, and he's like, it's free to find out how hollows feel, like bullets.
Oh, that's
like
crazy.
So he's got all these, like, the 17-year-old punching him, like
the
saying
17-year-old, which I read for the first time. And did I understand this correctly? He was playing this kid in basketball in his backyard?
Yeah, I think he has, like, obviously it's not. I mean, he's got a sick backyard. He's probably got a full court. He's probably like playing.
So who is this kid? Is this kid like the next Jordan?
Yeah,
like,
no,
what?
he's a very good high school player. So he got invited to play, like, 5-on-5 runs or whatever. And so that one he allegedly had a gun. The Pacers won. So then to just be like, here's my gun.
Right. Because now, even if the other stuff didn't happen, I want to, if 100% everybody in the world has been like, oh, every story about him is facts.
He loses all benefit of the doubt now. Yeah.
But I do think I would bet on it being, I would hope it's a blip on the radar for his career. Like, he goes on, has a great career. And it's like, remember that year where Ja Morant was just doing
well, that's why I'd have to talk to him, but I don't know that you can cure that type of stupid.
That's what I mean. Yeah. It's such a coin flip, though, where it's like,
if it's not this, it may be something. It's just like,
it feels like maybe somehow he like keeps it on track and wins, but also looking back, it might be like, oh, once he had a gun and did like these 4 or 5 things, we know the type of guy to be,
And I keep saying, never mind just the gun. You put it on
Instagram,
social media. What are you fucking doing?
There were like 5,000 people watching. Zombies.
UFC, I didn't watch. I got one of those weird situations I always get in. I saw the highlights. It was late. I was out to dinner, and instead of I was just refreshing. I was caught in the middle. I didn't want to buy it, but I wanted to see how it did. I know, Dan, you watched it. Kevin, did you?
I just saw the highlights. I didn't watch it at all.
Yeah, so, it was great. The whole
Yes.
card was great. Jon Jones is, back. Like it was insane how quickly
That guy,
yeah.
his opponent was just not. I don't think he was up to the task.
Well, he was a heavyweight champion.
I know,
obviously
but
he won it because
that looked like a guy who was like, I'm in over.
The UFC for the first time that I can remember, and whether they'll be able to fix it, Dana Pay has a fight that is the biggest fight in combat sports that you can make, and it may not be made, with Francis Ngannou versus Jon Jones.
I do think everyone was like, well, Dana said never. And it's like, there's like two professions that if someone says never, it's almost guaranteed it's going to happen. It's like college football coaches and the fight game.
Yeah.
Like that's it, right?
Although the fight game, though, I feel like you end up with situations I forget why we talked about, but it's like Men of Honor with Nadu and Rico. That was like when Pacquiao and Mayweather fought 100 years past their prime and nobody cared.
Right. Everyone's like, okay, we've been begging for this for years. But the whole card was awesome.
What is the deal with Ngannou? Just that like
he's not under contract.
He wants
more money than UFC is willing to pay. Like it's all that kind of shit.
I think he wants a box.
Well,
right.
He wants the box. Well, there's more money to be made there.
UFC if he made.
But here's the issue, I think, that Dana's probably wrestling with. Like, he could go be like, hey, we'll pay you $100 million, $200 million, Francis Ngannou, to fight Jon Jones. It breaks the entire business model of the UFC. That becomes boxing. That is what UFC, the company, and coming up, that it breaks the whole model. So I don't think he'll do that.
It's not worth it.
What's more likely to happen, which would also break the model, is paying Francis Ngannou for like a 3-fight contract, but also allowing him to do stuff on the side. Because that's his big sticking point. Is like he knows that because he's such a good fighter and he has such an illustrious career, he could just do a fight with Tyson Fury, even though he's never boxed professionally. And that would probably make him $50 million. I don't know, making up numbers, but more. So he's like, I want to be able to do these things. And so he would still be in the UFC if they allowed him to do the boxing.
That breaks the model.
Right. Because you can make so much more money in these boxing fights than you can with the way they pay UFC.
The fight would be fucking great though, huh?
Yeah. That would be the biggest fight.
How much those guys are money driven, where it's like, could you appeal to their competitive nature of
no?
It's just
I don't think so.
I don't know. I mean, Ngannou has that story. Didn't he cross the Sahara Desert to try to get to his freedom?
But if it wasn't money, he'd be in the UFC probably still. And I don't blame them.
Jon Jones can agitate. If Jon Jones gets, who knows? And it is good for the UFC that because they had a belt that was basically Cyril Gane was the heavyweight title holder, even though he lost to Francis Ngannou. It's good for the UFC that Jon Jones is now it, because Jon Jones is the greatest of all time. So it's like they at least have that. But that's a what if.
He came around at the exact right time for Dana, and because Dana is now the best ever, and now without him, everyone thinks the champ is no longer
right.
You never get the credibility of the champ. Right. Jon Jones is the only one who can be like, I am the legit champ. I'm the best ever. So that's good timing for them. He had a good line too, because they had a party, an after party, and they asked him about it, and he's like, we all make mistakes. You can ask Dana. Any fighter can now say that. It's like that was the perfect way to basically answer it.
Jon Jones made a lot
of mistakes.
People are really just looking past a lot of his resume.
Well, Jon Jones is. I remember an interview.
By the way, the fight game is not the good guy game.
No, it's not. It's the one place, But it was an interview when he was starting to accumulate wins and also had trouble. And someone, I think it might have been Helwani, was like, "Do you think you'll be able to stay out of trouble?" And he's like, "I don't know." honest about it. I do not know. I hope I can.
Who do you think would win that fight?
I would take Jon Jones just because.
I feel it's a little bit like whoever just fought most recently. Like when Ngannou was just beating motherfuckers up, everyone was like, he's the greatest of all time. You just watch Jon Jones, it's like he's the greatest of all time. But
without knowing anything about UFC, I think Jon Jones is far better on the ground, but I could be wrong.
He also the only person who's ever beat Jon Jones is Jon Jones.
Yeah, because he got disqualified for
I mean, that
But he was
wasn't the
beating his
most.
shit.
But no, also the cocaine,
Yeah,
steroids.
yeah,
Like he is the only like if he didn't get in his own way a lot, like he would. I mean, he already has an insane career, but it's nuts to think of like what he might have left on the table too.
I will say that 17-0 guy who put the hat on Joe Rogan, that chokeout while standing was awesome.
Oh, dude, that fight was insane.
I just saw a chokeout. Yeah, I'll have
Pakistan.
to.
He beat the fuck. This guy Jeff Neal had like an iron chin because he was getting absolutely brutalized, and then after Rachmanov just beat the fuck out of him, for like whatever, 2.5 rounds, he's like, all right, I'll just choke you out standing up, and he actually went to sleep.
Dropped him and then walked away. Very intimidating.
The women's submission was awesome.
Yeah, and that was a big upset.
Right away. That was sick.
I think as a lot of people on this next clip, when I first saw Jake Gyllenhaal, I'm like, oh, he is one of these guys who ran out of things to do, and he's in the UFC. Ripped to shreds, looked the part. I've seen the clips of him, which must have been so weird for the audience because I think they did it at UFC, right? They're like, they did the fake fight,
a weigh-in, the face,
and it looked like they did the match. So that's crazy. That's Roadhouse, which is one of my all-time favorite movies.
They shouldn't
remake it. I have no idea. What are they doing in the UFC? What is this?
Well,
why is he in the UFC?
It's not a remake. It's reimagined.
Oh, fuck it, dude. That Roadhouse is like the perfect movie.
Perfect.
So yeah, they're doing, switching sports, and I'm sure.
There is no sport in Roadhouse.
Well, yeah, it's
ass kicking.
Yeah.
But no, Gyllenhaal, I guess, is like a UFC fighter that then gets disgraced, then goes and starts bartending in Florida.
Yeah, but like, why do you even? He is
perfect movie.
Jake Gyllenhaal is on so many steroids right now. He is ripped.
It makes sense, Dan. We saw him in New York. He was there, so that makes a lot of sense.
That does.
Yeah. Chris Rock.
By the way, that rematch of the one we saw, Dave, is going to be in Miami.
I know, but I'm not going to be here.
Ah, shit.
Because I think I'm in Columbus.
Final Four, maybe?
Final Four, something. It's April, or it must have been, or I'm going to be in Italy for my buddy's wedding, one or the other. Chris Rock, I've seen the clips. I haven't watched the Netflix special yet. Chris Rock, I am on the record, is my favorite comedian. Him or Ricky Gervais. Love them both. There's been more controversy. This one's weird to me. Like, I thought it was very funny. Did you guys? He went after Will Smith, ripped them apart. I thought it was good. I thought it was vintage Chris Rock. A lot of people going back and forth on it. I don't really get why, because it seems like they're taking it into, like, I don't know, political. They're like, I don't know how to describe what.
Yeah, it was weird because when it happened like a year ago this month. So pretty much exactly a year ago. I would say the vast majority of people were on his side. And then this clip, people were like, he's gone too far, and it is too much. He should have taken the high road. And it's like, I didn't think it was particularly like that clever to just be like, he's a bitch. This guy said he's a bitch. You said, he just kind of went in on him. But I think he also has the right to do that forever. Like, if you do that to another guy at the Oscars, he can bring that up and talk about it and make fun of you forever, in my mind.
There was a lot of them with 3 white guys. What I was seeing on Twitter a lot, and Twitter, what he could tell, is there like a lot of like, he went after like a black man and a black woman in front of like a white audience. To me, the race, I don't know where that's at.
I saw a bunch of tweets like, this is what they want us to do, kind of.
I've always loved him. I thought it was funny. I love his delivery. People like he's whiny. That's always been his delivery, the same.
You know what I think the problem is with him a little bit is like, for people who don't know him or like, know his old jokes, his old specials, he's almost like become the parody of himself. You know what I mean? Like, his delivery is so well known that I feel like people don't even realize it's like he's the one who kind of created that. I watched the first like 20 minutes of the special. It's all just like woke culture, cancel culture, outrage, trigger, like blah, blah, blah. I'm like, that shit is so old.
I will say, like,
I did hear the middle, like the beginning is that, the end is Will Smith, and I heard the middle is good, I guess. I turned it off before I even got
I'll watch it, the full. I mean, again, it's hard. I'm that big of a fan of his where I will readily admit he'd really have to suck for me not to like it. Like,
no, it was interesting, though. So he was the first guy to ever live stream.
Yeah, it takes balls.
And he fucked up a joke like real bad. Like, a big part of the Will Smith joke, he flubbed the name of one of his movies and even says like, oh, I fucked up the joke. I mean this. And it's like, Any other time,
Yeah.
That wouldn't be in
nails
there.
that
Yeah.
joke, or it doesn't matter. But this is the one time you can't.
I
Are the
didn't
Knicks?
watch it. I don't know. That's obvious. I haven't seen it yet.
Are the Knicks good? The Knicks beat the Celtics again. Great game, double overtime. Kevin, I see you're getting a lot of heat because you bailed on them, don't pay any attention to them, and now you're like kind of back in. And everyone's like, well, where you been for the last 20 years?
I'm not even talking about them. There's just a radio host in New York who's like, yeah, like gatekeeping it. I haven't even been talking about them, but I'm like, if you
Who?
I hate people who fight the bandwagon. Like,
Who's
well,
gatekeeping it?
Brandon Tierney is like with BT. He's on with Tiki Barber. He does like a radio show in New York, and it's like his quote was like, "Yeah, you like the fans who disappeared for the last 15 years, stay away. We don't need you. We don't want you."
Shut up.
Bro, it's my number two least favorite thing is gatekeeping. Number one is what fucking Frank does. But like, if
What does he do?
Oh, being right?
What does he do? He's right all the time.
Yeah,
How's
right.
how's Verlander looked? I mean, the other guy with the eyes. How's he looked in the preseason?
Great. Awesome.
What's his velocity?
Doesn't matter. Max is a fucking pitcher. We know.
Velocity matters.
Yeah. What do you think spring training matters, Dave? In what world does spring training ever matter for a fucking 40-year-old?
You know who's watching spring training?
Frank.
Tank.
It's a tank.
But the yeah, it's like I think as long as you're a fan, like you admit who you are. Like if you're a bandwagon fan trying to act like you've been around all these years, then like you're.
I also think you can be a diehard fan of the Knicks actually and be like, yeah, I haven't paid super. They've been horrible.
Yeah, they've been sucked.
It's one thing when you talk about a bad team. It's another thing when you talk about James Dolan, who's like regarded as the worst owner in sports.
That's gotten us banned from Madison Square Garden and any of his events. You sell the team.
Using facial recognition to keep people out because he has like personal vendettas, has been meddling with the franchise forever, it is
his team. I'd meddle.
What?
I would meddle. I never get that. He owns the team, so he's allowed to meddle.
But also like when you have terrible results all the time, don't you think you would step back eventually? I mean, I don't know. If you pretend to be something you're not, you're an asshole. But if you come back around and start to enjoy it, the fuck? That's the whole point.
I tweeted out, I like the Knicks being good. I think it's good for basketball. The Boston-New York rivalry, Madison Square Garden, I think that's good. I do not think they are remotely a threat to do anything in the playoffs.
That's the other thing. Knicks fans like that, the gatekeepers, get so ahead of themselves. Like, they're playing great, but we're talking about a winning streak in the regular season. We're not talking about, Eastern Conference Finals and they've been making a run. This has, like, classic Knicks written all over it if they... it's like, okay, you had a good fucking few weeks in, little insanity.
It's also Tom Thibodeau coach team. They are very good in the regular season.
Because they're tenacious. Every game's game 7.
The Bulls went through the same thing where it was like, wow, look, and then you get to the playoffs and it's like, well, who are your best guys? And also, this is when it actually matters. It's a little different.
And it's also what's kind of endearing, and what I think a lot of the diehard fans love about it is they are a very well-balanced team, and they're gelling, and they run a 9-man rotation, and it's deep. And then it's like, but to win a championship, you need like 3 Hall of Famers, and they don't have
9-man rotation doesn't do
anything.
Pat Riley always said, when you get to the playoffs, play 8, trust 7.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then the other NBA game that had a little fireworks, Phoenix against Dallas, the continuation of Luka versus Booker, which is a good rivalry. I mean, the NBA is good for that. And I talked to you, Dan, a little bit. Luka was horrible yesterday, by the way. He was just horrible, missing shots. I've never seen him miss. I know. Yeah. He saw like 1-7 that he missed. But then, I don't care, missed that. We're into gambling season. It was, I believe, plus 1.5 was Dallas. 3 seconds left. They inbound. They're down 4. Luka could have taken the most uncontested easy 3 that I think he hits in his sleep, like Dan said. He made it into like this weird runner bank shot.
It's doing like a floater.
Fuck, yeah. He tried to bank it.
Yeah.
It's just disgusting.
Have some fucking decorum, Luka. If you can't
You're helping your hometown
cover.
fans. You're helping your fans.
What does this say? Just cover.
Yes.
Just cover. To think that as gambling gets legalized and legitimized, that people might actually think like players might actually have that on
No,
their
you
mind.
should. I talked the Celtics game the other night. They were up fucking 13 with a minute 10. They were -5. I've never seen, they played the Cavs. I've never seen an NBA team. They were like playing defense hard. They turned the Celtics over twice, hit threes, and you could hear the crowd groaning as it got close. And the Celtics ended up not covering. You could hear the collective groan. Of course you're going to hear it. Derek Carr to the Saints. Gee, what's up with Mitzi's hair? It's something.
Yeah.
What
Did
did she
you
do?
hear, Dave? You're gonna get a big update on the Mincy Daily Planner coming. I have made a wager with Ben Mintz. So did you guys see the
Here it is, Kevin.
Oh my God.
kind of like late Hitler?
Holy
it's very
shit. Yeah.
It's
like
very Hitler.
If he
It's late. It's
like
bunker
a month
Hitler.
after getting a haircut, you know?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's bunker Hitler right there, where he's just got not a lot of hair left and he's trying to keep it all together.
Wow.
But yeah, Mincy, I still don't know. I don't know if you guys saw it because it was maybe the Vegas controversy we've ever had at Barstool.
With Za?
Zaha got
What is
drunk.
this, by the way?
Yeah.
So Za, they're doing the Storm Chasers. They're at Ole Miss. They got, from what I've gathered, because I saw Za gave an apology. I didn't know what he did.
I just want to apologize to the Ole Miss community for the whole thing yesterday, the tweets that I put up yesterday. I just was not in the right headspace. I was lost in the sauce. It had been a long day, and I just was Twitter fingers, which I shouldn't have been, and I feel so bad about it.
Maybe killed
like
somebody.
said something like terrible online, but he was tweeting, Zal was tweeting that Ole Miss disrespected him more than anyone's ever disrespected him. Mincy apologized on behalf of Ole Miss. Then Zal woke up, sobered up, released an apology video. Then Mincy accepted Za's apology on behalf of Ole Miss, all within like 24. And we still don't know what actually happened.
What actually happened, right?
No,
Yeah.
no one knows. But here's the what I've thrown the gauntlet on Mincy. I would like your take. Mincy he made breaking news today on the Yak. He's running a 10K. That was the breaking news for Hogs for the Cause.
Of course.
I
So what is it? A 10K is what?
6.2 miles.
Okay.
I said, Ben Mintz, if you finish this 10K in under an hour, it's like a 9:40 pace.
Yeah.
I will donate $10,000 to Hogs for the Cause.
I don't think you can do it.
If you go over an hour, he has to go into a World Series of Poker tournament, not the main event, and he has to just go all in every single hand and see how long he lasts.
I want to say, though, did he not do like a weight loss thing at one point and like run a lot? Like
His body doesn't take to that.
But that's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
he's
Some guys don't take to that.
body is not-
Listen, I feel like he did run before. Or maybe
Yeah, well, he had it with Billy Football. They were like
Yeah.
doing stuff, but his body does not take.
right.
10K is, 5K is one thing. 10
He's not going to get under that.
He also, I just love Mincy. He's just a treasure trove of content once you get it going. Because part of his accepting of Za's apology was saying we've all made mistakes. So I got him to just admit his 3 biggest mistakes live on the Yak today.
Was
Forget
one of them
about
not
Zon.
confronting?
He's going
Was it
viral.
not
No.
confronting?
No, one of them wasn't Alex Stein. One of them
Wow.
was he like lied to his mom about being in school when he was just playing poker. And it's like, dude, what are you admitting right now? It's like,
He would he confessed to a murder by accident. There were 2, I would say, like pop culture controversies. Well, what? All right. Have you guys, this is a good take because I filmed BFF before. They didn't really know about this controversy. I'm seeing it everywhere. This Vanderpump thing, which essentially, and I don't really watch the Vanderpumps. I'm kind of aware of it because Jax Taylor is like a big Barstool guy. He's been in the office a bunch. I know Rhea and Fran, in one of the weirdest timings of all time, interviewed the girl who was at the center of this controversy, but they didn't know it broke like, I think she left the studio. They aired it. It broke.
The cheater or the
Cheater. So it's
Cheater.
the main guy, this guy, Tom, was dating another one on the show for like 9 years.
Yeah, Tom, I don't know the show, but I know Tom. He's like OG, right? He's like one of the first people
I
on the show.
guess. They have restaurants in LA, like Tom, and cheated with another person on the show. Big controversy. And then I guess Selena versus Haley is still going on. Like I saw our bars, like Selena versus Haley. So they're both big pup culture. I guess, are you guys in on any of this shit?
I don't know
like
Vanderpump, but I followed Selena and Haley a little bit.
The
So
Vanderpump one is like they stuff a bar with the hottest people in the world, and then they all fuck.
Yeah.
So it's
And
like two attractive
stars.
people.
I think it was that. It was like
what?
Their best friend.
Members was why.
And best friend, yeah.
Yeah.
And then everyone's going after their restaurants. And the guy went on Instagram and he didn't really apologize. Like, just don't go after my restaurants. That's essentially
that's
like
not
what, giving it like
that.
bad reviews and shit like that.
That's
Like,
also, that's this guy went on the internet and said, "Internet, please don't be mean."
I mean,
yeah.
That's going to burn down by the end of the weekend. Get out of here.
Pretty much.
I thought Selena Gomez removed herself from the internet again. I thought
she did, but then I think she came back.
Yeah,
everybody seems to be on Selena. She became the most followed person on Instagram. Like Haley's losing all these followers. I don't know. She's married to the guy. We used to talk about this more. I guess there's not much on it. That's pretty much everything. Dan, I thought you were gonna be mad at me.
Why?
My horse.
Oh yeah, wait, I forgot to text you. So your horse won.
Yes.
That's fucking awesome. No, I ought to be mad at you. Congratulations. I would have liked the tip, but that's also I'm such a mush that like I understand that you can't tell me your horse running the first time. You tell me I lose, you lose, we all lose. I get it.
Down. That's why before the race he was not in. He was out of sorts, so we didn't think she was gonna be great. They love the horse.
So who owns it? Did Brad get it?
Yep, it's Brad. So I own 25% of it. So back about a year and a half ago, he put together a group. I spent $500,000. Everyone in the group puts in money. We spent, I think, $2 million for 5 or 6 horses. She's from the beginning been the only one that they're like, she can run. I knew Brad was trying to be understated. Brad loved her, but yeah, I won $117,000 on the race.
How old is she?
3.
Is she?
She won't be like Oaks. No, she could be a grade 1. Yes, we don't know, but it won't be in time.
Damn, so, that's awesome though.
Awesome.
And how much does Elio own?
He keeps saying we in the partnerships. He doesn't own any. He doesn't own any.
Because I saw you tweet about it. I meant to text you and say congrats, but I was like doing something. And then I saw later in the day he said a tweet with we, and I was just like, oh, Elio's
he doesn't do that for show. He does it on a text to me. He'll correct me. But yeah, I kept singling her. I hit a pick 3.
What was her odds?
7-1.
Oh fuck! Now I am mad. Yep. Now I am mad. If you had said like 3-2, I'd have been like, yeah, congrats, Dave. No, 7-1. You're a dick. You owe me one. You owe me one.
7-1.
Damn.
So that was very exciting. Can't wait for the next step. I think
you owe me one.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna be mad. That's the first thing I thought, but it was like Brad lost confidence. Like before, I literally, what did I?
You were gonna text me?
Yeah, This is what I said to before the race to Elio.
Oh, I would have hammered it. And that sucks too, because I lost so much money on Handsome Hank and fucking what's the jumper?
Crossing Border.
Crossing Border. Every horse. Come on, Dave.
I bet the horse like she didn't have any issues. Brad said I'm nuts. So like but it was my horse. So it was a great day, great time to be there. All right,
that's awesome. That's awesome though.
That's everything. It's March Madness again, Massachusetts. Live Friday. I think they're saying 10 a.m. So we will be there all weekend and get it going.
Yes.
All right. See you guys.